Of being inspired with Boost Apart life-changing reality talk. This is a community we've created where we embrace our truth that leads to our freedom. This is where we come together to share the truth, because it's only the truth we know and do that will set us free. I remain your amiable, honorable ambassador Boost Apart Osigwe, and we will be discussing on a topic: never mock a pain you haven't endured. Never mock a pain you haven't endured. This topic, while thinking about it this afternoon, really made me very emotional. It really made me very emotional, seriously, because majority of us are carrying a lot of trauma, a lot of unresolved trauma, grief, shame, hurt, sadness, rejection, regret that are personal and very deep. And most people don't know it because they cannot feel it, And then most of us lack empathy. We have no conscience, no compassion, no kindness, no mercy. Everyone is just trying to dehumanize another person. This is what we do, and almost always it beats me, because I don't know how people can be okay with themselves, knowing that they emotionally, psychologically, mentally, physically, and spiritually destroy another person, directly or indirectly. I know that if you don't wear a shoe of somebody, you will never know the pain they are carrying. If you're not in the pain of somebody, you can't be able to judge it. If you don't know what I'm going through, you will not be able to know why I am the way I am and why I react the way I do and what makes me the me. Because you don't know what is going on inside my life. How can you judge? How can you judge what I do when you don't know what is going on in my life? Until you wear a shoe of somebody, you know if there are nails that are choking the person there, if there is water that is making it slippery for the person, if there are things that are in there that you cannot decide and you don't know. And all these things have been going on. That reminds me of when we were reading theater arts deep in University of Calabar. We used to have this classmate of ours. We've never seen that girl smile. We've never seen that girl, socialize. We've not. And okay, every time we came, a lot of people have baptized her with a lot of things, different groups, different squads, call her a lot. In fact, we were even calling her terracotta face, because every time she's so unhappy, and nobody bothered to know what was going on in her life. Everybody had judged her and concluded that she's just something, a terracotta, this terracotta face, and people would laugh. Until one day, we heard that a student fell in Hall 9 in Unical and died, So, while that happened, students, a lot of stories were coming up. They were even saying that that very lady that died, that in their family they have died, they've lost 7 of them, that they were dying like that. A lot of people were coming up with a lot of things. I think they're from Ugep or whatever. I can't remember the side they came from in Unical then, in Calabar then. And while all those things were coming on, some people say, that they mark them for death and give them some days or give them some months, and wherever it gets to that time, whatever the person will drop. And I think the lady was washing her clothes and she slumped and died. That was it. And eventually, do you know what happened? This lady was the senior sister of this very classmate of ours. So in other words, this lady that has been in our class has buried 7 of her siblings. Why were we expecting her to laugh? Nobody ever cared to know her pain. Nobody ever cared to know what was going on in her life. And we judged her that she's miserable, she's terracotta face, she doesn't laugh. How do you know how bad things have been in the life of people when you don't know them? Thinking about it now, you can imagine what that lady was going through. You can imagine her pain. You can imagine her misery. You can imagine her loneliness, the emptiness. And yet, nobody tried to know what was going on in her life. She was judged. She was dumped, whatever name that we call it. And that is how we have been treating so many people in our lives. And then let's take it up to when you have people who have not given birth around you. People who are looking for the fruit of the womb, what do you do to them? What do you do to them? You have no right to, because you have not experienced barrenness. You have not experienced the need for childbearing, the hunger, the pain, what those women are going through, even the men. But it's easier for you to castigate them. It's easier for you to ridicule them. It's easier for you to mock their pain that you have not endured, that you have not been through. When we read our Bible and we read about Hannah and Peninnah, we think that it's just about Bible. There are women that are worse than Peninnah in the Bible here on earth. They make it look as if it is them, but forgetting that it is not them that decides who has children. There are women that has children that have aborted 9 times while they were growing up. But yet they entered into a man's home and they were dropping triplets. And you see those people judging a virgin, somebody that never really misbehaved and married and didn't have a child. So what does that show you? That it is not you, that your giving birth does not give you any right to judge any other person. Because you don't know the pain, you don't know the loneliness, you don't know, and you mock them. And you criticize them, and you gossip with them, and you ridicule them. That is so mean. And that is why I said, I don't know how people feel okay, knowing that they are making other people's life suicidal, and they don't care. Now, some other people, you look at it, ladies without a husband. You see somebody that you know that is beyond the age of getting married, and then you're mocking the person. Because you married does not give you a right to know what that person that is not married has gone through. It's not even about your character that had made you marry. It's up to God. It's not about your character. So many people are unbearable. You can't even stand them, and you keep wondering who is keeping them in the home. But these are people who are laughing at someone who didn't get married or who has not married, forgetting that there is a pastor that married, a lady pastor that married for the first time after 60 years and became a mother of all. It happened, and we see these things, and it does not teach us anything. Why are you mocking a pain you have not endured? Why are you mocking a pain that you have? I went somewhere, we're talking about the fat people. We can talk all and all because so many of us criticize people that are fat. As a conductor, anyway, you have no right to see somebody because the person is fat. They're not like, oh, this is your size. You're going to pay 3 for 3 persons. So that is mean. That is mean. The person didn't ask to be like that. That thing gives the person concern. It makes the person angry. It makes the person not okay. It makes the person not have inferiority complex. And then you come again and you heap it on the person. And then tell the person you can go and die, because that's what it simply means. That's what it simply. You see a lot of people who doesn't have a job. Who doesn't have a job? Most of these people who don't have job, they came out from university with 2-1. That you have connection and you have somebody who fits you somewhere does not give you right to talk down on who doesn't have a job as at that time. Do you know that there are so many of you that have job that it was just somebody, because we're living in a rash world. You did know you're working in a bank with agriculture because somebody had to fix you down. You start doing training, whereas there are accountant students, people that are accountants, read economics, real courses that need to be in the banking hall, but they are not there because there's nobody to push them, because there's nobody. And then you look at them and then you think they don't deserve, forgetting that you that is there is not on your merit. Why are we so mean? Why are we so callous? Why do we do a lot to people who we think that we're more fortunate than, and then forgetting that the world does not reason like that? What do we do to people who are ugly? A lot of people think that it's only when your face is pretty that means fineness. When God does not make you pretty, He compensates them with wonderful character. There are some beautiful faces that are having Jezebel heart and soul. So it's not about that you're pretty without character, you are nothing as well. It's only that the world goes with pretty, this person is fine, and we then become so mean to those people who don't have such grace and privilege. Do you know, I was in one occasion one day, and an MC was talking, introducing a lot of damsels, a lot of beautiful women that were coming in. He would just talk before another person. He would say this one, oh, coming in now, this person is this person is this, and then he started hailing and hyping another person that's going to come in. So when that lady walked in, the MC said, oh, I take back my hype, as in, because this lady wasn't looking nice, not looking nice per se, she didn't have that kind of pretty face, and then he forgot that he had just destroyed as in, it's not just integrity, as in this, the joy in the soul of this person. He just did, why will you do, did you create the person that the person doesn't fit in? Somebody else loves the person the way the person is. Why are we so mean? Why are we mocking pains we don't endure? Why do we create a lot of atmosphere that is so terrible for our fellow sisters and brothers? Why are we doing that? People came from a rich home. It is not your father's money, it's not your money. And then you talk down on people who came from poor background. What right do you have to do that? Your father's money, let me tell you, it's not your money. Show me what you have done yourself that had carved the needs for you. Who are you as a person? Now your father is rich. Do you know who I am? My father is this, my mother is this. That is not you. Who are you? And then you now think because you are privileged to have those parents, and then people who didn't come from such family, you create a group, you discriminate, you are doing a whole lot. You're doing a whole lot against them, undermining them. Making it look as if they can't speak in a place. Even in our normal communities, in village meetings, when rich people talk, they respect them. When a poor person with good idea is talking, they shut the person down and make the person sit. It's not a crime to be poor. It is not a crime to be poor. God has given everybody different things. Some people, they don't have this. He compensates them with another thing. Why are we so callous? Never mock a pain you have not endured. You need to be in their pain for you to know what your character is doing to them. What are you doing to people who are not as fortunate as you are in some circumstances? What are you doing? I want you, wherever you are, listening to me, watching me, what are you doing? Most of us, we see accident victims. How do we treat them? Do you know when people are sane and fine and complete, they can endure whatever, but when there's an accident, something that has happened to them that has changed their lifestyle, how kind are you to them? I know one man, he likes to change his clothes 3 times in a day. He's just this kind of happy, yuppie guy. He's always happy dressing. He can bathe 3 times. That guy is just somebody who is so conscious of his, self, as in he's a fine guy and he knows it and he wants to live like that. Okay, so what am I saying? This guy, for whatever happened to him, I don't know, there was a fire incident and he was involved in it. All the while that thing happened to him, he was talking. The will to live was there. They took him to 3 hospitals. He was walking with himself. So when he got to lose, he now asked them for mirror. If we're kind people, if we know what it means to be compassionate, nobody would have given him that mirror as at that time. All he needed was a therapist. Somebody that will make him see another side of life. Somebody that will make him have the reason, the will to live. But they brought the mirror to him. The moment he saw his face, he said, wow. The moment he saw his face, he went up to the bed and died. The same one, I know another woman like that, a good woman in Balogu. She's psychedelic, she's up, and she just talks, she's just there. She's not somebody that can be there and you will not notice that. Then she traveled to the east. On her way back, she had an accident and her legs were bad. So I visited her 2 times in the hospital. She was doing good, talking cheerful. One day a doctor came to her and now no, this your leg is really not progressing, it's not doing well, we need to cut it. Now, if we're kind, If you understand what it means to be nice to each other, you would have known how to like build this woman's hope, faith, moral up, and psychologically kept her fine before telling her that you're going to amputate her legs. The doctor did that. And what did the woman say? She just screamed and said, no, if she's going to die, she's dying complete. She turned and died. That is something our words do to people, because we think we can talk anyhow. We think we can just say that because we can say that. Because we are always mocking pains that we've not endured. We don't put ourselves into the shoes of other people to know what they're going through, to know what makes them, to know the pains they're going through, to be able to know what to say to them, how to relate with them. And again, to so many women that are there, oh, CWO head, pastor's wife, madam this, madam that, oh, psychedelic babe, hot babe, swagalicious, and then you go to the village and you pick a daughter of a very poor person. You bring them to your house. The moment you go to their houses to pick those persons, or how many of them, wherever, God has led you into that home to be a blessing. But what do we do instead? When you bring them to your house, you segregate between them and your children. Yeah, your children had come from a blessed womb. Those people have come from cursed womb, because you're the one that is their God. You are defining them, and you decided how they can become, and there's no hope for them. They can't rise above who they are. And then if you manage to give them tea without milk, you will tell them, well, have you seen bread in your father's house? Have you seen foam? You're not even lucky that you see a room over your roof. This one. And then what you don't know is that you are creating a monster. By making those people feel that inferior, regret their life, you're hardening them. They came to you because they're supposed to feel loved. They're supposed to know what kindness means. They're supposed to know what be your brother's keeper is. They're supposed to know what joy of community, and then everything good. That's what that life has come to you to mold and remold and make them better. And then instead, what do you do to them? You make them feel so inferior. You make them feel that even that, and they are looking at you, segregate, discriminate between them and your children. You discriminate between them and your children now watching you. And instead, you're throwing out, you're eventually going to send to the society a horrible person, a heart without conscience, a heartless heart. That's what you're going to send, because that's what you molded in your home. Think about it. Wherever you are, what do you do? We're not even talking about the orphans. These ones are even the ones that their parents are very poor. What about the ones you go to pick, knowing that nobody can speak, knowing that nobody can come up for them? You treat them as you like, do whatever you want, and why we feel so happy mocking people on a pain that is so deep, they didn't bring upon themselves. Even if you will send them outside, they sleep outside more than they sleep inside. Every little thing they do, every little mistake, you deny them food. They can go hungry for 3 days because nobody can ask after them. Nobody can ask. And you forget that you are on assignment. That was a test from God. That you don't start where you can't finish. If you know you're not qualified, you don't have what it takes, leave them where they are. Have you ever bothered to think that a mad woman will get pregnant without an inhabitant? She will be drinking gutter water. She will be drinking gutter water. She will be wearing dirty things. She will be perambulating, and she will give birth to a bouncing baby girl or boy. What about you? But you that has opportunity of being the best, you that have opportunity of having that medical thing, try it now. So your character to people, what you do to people, the pain you make people go through because you think you're privileged. That is what I'm trying to tell you today. It is so wrong. Never you mock a pain you have not endured. Never you mock a pain you have not endured. People are going through a lot. If you cannot be a blessing, let them be the way they are. Don't add to their pain. Don't add to their sorrow. Don't add to their to reason why they had to commit suicide. And even all of us that think that we're very sane, most times we deny people their pain. because we want to protect ourselves. You will see somebody close to you that are going through a whole lot of things. You go there, it is well. Oh, don't let it bother you. What makes you think it will not bother the person? It is a pain that is real. It is a pain that is real. No matter how much we fear God and know God and want to do positive faith and all that, you must hear that pain. You must hear the person out. You must be available to feel what the person is feeling. There are times that even your silence is all the person needs, not your talk. You don't go where somebody is going through hell and you just like, it is well, don't worry, don't think about it. That is denying people the reality of their pain, and it is wrong, because what you end up doing to that person is you shut them down. They will not share their emotion, they will not talk to anybody. The next day you hear that they've committed suicide and you're wondering why. But that is what we do to them. We create environment that make people not to be able to come out with their truth, not to share their truth, not to tell anybody anything, because we have no time to hear them or feel them. Most times because it can disturb us. We want to protect ourselves, but trying not to hear so that we can feel fine. And we end up making life miserable for so many people that we know. Why do we think we can reduce the world to our own perspective? Why? What makes us think we can do that? Never you mock a pain you have not endured. Never you mock a pain you have not endured. A lot of people go through a whole lot and we don't give them chance to their reality. We don't give them chance at all. We don't give them chance. A lot of people have fun at the expense of others. A lot of people have enjoyment at the expense of others. A lot of people feel that, oh, those people that are not up to them, they are nothing. Nobody. I once had I knew somebody that went to school, went to university, came out with a 2-1. This man looked for job, he didn't see job. In order not to be miserable, he went back to school, read another course, came out, no job. He went to do his masters, came out, no job. It was as if, as in what? He has read and was just gathering certificates. Now even he started helping people to write exams. A lot of people are coming to him. He was helping them write exam. Eventually, when he walks into some offices, the managing director there will be somebody he has helped to write exam. And they will not take him because they are scared. They know he's far better than them. But the way they treat him, it's better for you to even call him and tell him, I am scared of picking you. But they just treat him with so much disrespect. The guy couldn't bear it. What he was saying is that after everything, why him? And eventually he went and drowned. With all that, his certificate, with everything, the treatment his friends gave him in his miserable condition was what made me. I think I heard he jumped into River Niger or so. That became the end. Since that day, nobody has seen him again. And it's been years. Now, what am I saying? Maybe if he had had a compassionate person, if he had had somebody who was willing to listen then, if he had had somebody who was willing to hear him, to talk to him, maybe he will be alive today and will eventually be useful to the world. But no, we are always so mean, so callous, so terrible to the people who we think we're better than. The way we undermine people, the way we treat people, the way we talk to people we're better than is terrible in this world that we're living in. It's so terrible, but we do that always. We do that. Most people actually, when life suits them, is when they're nice and kind. When it doesn't, they behave like whatever. We criticize people and we make them feel worse. I just spoke about those looking for the fruit of the womb, what people do to them. And then we talk about somebody, when somebody's husband died or when somebody's wife, what do you do to them? They didn't ask for them to die. The first thing society does to them is to go grabbing what their husband has left behind. Why are we doing that? Somebody is down already. And what we're supposed to do to somebody is done is to inflict more pain. What are you doing with the property when you know that when you die, it's only 6 feet that you're going to have? It's only 6 feet. If we think about it, we will actually help people when they're in their lowest position, when they're in their lowest situation. Why are we not kind? Why are we not good to people? Why are we inflicting so much pain? Even in our society, when somebody has just girls, they are treating both the men and the women as if they don't belong. Who told you that a male child is the ultimate in life? You don't know the pain those people are going through. You don't know how they feel inside. But when they talk in public, and it's not this one that doesn't have a man. Please go and sit down. Even in families, you will be calculating whatever the person has gathered and be thinking he's working for people. Most times they tell them, is it not you that is laboring for nothing? Do you have a male child? What right do we have? Are you God? Are you God? You treat people with female children as if, oh, they're nothing. They're nothing. And the moment something happened, God forbid, to their husband, you will rush in to want to grab everything. After all, he doesn't have a male child. Why are we this wicked? Why are we this mean? Why do we mock pains that we have not endured? You have not been in the shoes. You've not been in their pain. You don't know what they're going through. You don't know the midnight tears that they shed. And yet, in the real life, we create more problems for them. We create so much problem for people. And we keep wondering what is happening to them. But we are the cause of it. If we are kind, if we are compassionate, if we have empathy, if we have human sympathy, if we have moral, we will understand that most of the people you see on the road, it's just pancake covering. If they tell you their pain, you'll be shocked. If you know what so many people are going through, most of them can't speak because other people are scared of gossiping. They're scared of people gossiping with their name. They're scared of people taking their name to town. They're scared of people saying a whole lot about them. And they're bottling inside. Mental health. A lot of people's brain are not okay right now. A lot of people. That's why you see so much killing. Because people can't even come to terms with what is happening in their lives right now. So be kind. Be kind. Be kind. That's what I beg you this afternoon. Be kind to people. It doesn't matter what you know. Just assume that, oh, this person I'm seeing, this is a camouflage. What is going on inside the life of this person? I may not be able to fathom. I will be nice to this person. If only we can be nice. Leave that woman that doesn't have a child. Don't mock her. Leave that woman that the husband just died. Don't mock her. Leave that woman with just female children. Don't mock her. Leave those people from poor background. Don't mock them. Leave that person without a job. Don't mock the person. It is not your call to make. It is not your call to make. You're not God. You're not God. You know, make sure that every single thing you do, that you put others into consideration when you do them. Nobody is perfect. And nobody deserves to be perfect. We are just in this world. Life is not easy for everybody. Nobody has it easy at all. Nobody has it easy, my dear. And everybody has an issue. Everybody has an issue. You never know what people are going through. So be kind, be nice to people. Be kind, be nice. If you know what so many people are going through, if you know the load they are carrying, you will have empathy. People are carrying a whole lot. You think it's easy for one person to be rich. I don't know how you feel. It is the worst thing that can happen if you are the only one that is rich. What will people not call you? Every single person come to you and nobody wants to understand the load you're carrying. If you don't give, you are a bad person. They will analyze. People will come, forgetting that even as they are coming, they don't know other hundreds of people that are coming to ask from you. The moment it doesn't matter how much you have given to them. It doesn't matter how much you want to give. The moment you give an excuse, you're a bad person. They will talk about you as if you've never done anything before to them. And they don't know what you're carrying. They don't know your load. They don't know your pain. They don't know what you are going. They don't know your midnight tears. People don't want to understand. Except the same way there are so many women you see, so many men you see. You don't know they are married to narcissists, gaslighters, people that are unpleasable. And you keep wondering, this person, this. You don't judge what you don't know until you get in there. If people tell you their story, you'll be shocked at what you have said about them. And that thing that you've said about them is what I want you to get to know today. Stop judging people you don't know their story. Stop judging people you don't know their history. Stop judging people you've not walked in their shoes. Nobody is perfect. It's actually, you need to pause before you start criticizing people. Pause before you start doing that. Everybody is fighting one battle or the other that you don't ever know. Everybody is fighting one battle. It's a hidden one. Like I said, most of the pains are personal and they're very deep and you don't know it. Don't, as a conductor, don't see a fat person and say, oh, you need to pay for 3 seats. You don't know. It's not, that person is not happy. Don't add to the unhappiness. Don't add to the complex the person is already happy. Most people just want to brace it because a lot of motivational speakers are saying, count your joy. Don't let another person be your, determine what happened. People want to come out to actually like brace what is happening inside of them, and that outside you will heap charcoal on top of them. You will remind them of the pain that they've buried. You will open up kind of worms for them, and you would send them back to inside where they can commit suicide without, because nobody wants to hear. They will be so ashamed to open up next time. Stop putting people down. You don't know people's story. Never mock a pain you have not endured. You've not walked through that route, so you don't know what is happening there. You've not worn the shoes that they're wearing. You don't know, you can't tell where the needle or the nail is pinching them. You have not been in that situation, and what you think you are is to the glory of God. It's not your call to make. It's not your decision to make. People are torn between the pain they feel and the emotion they cannot express. People are torn like that. People are torn like that. So much pain and yet so much emotion bottled up. They can't express it. They can't explain, because most of the time they try, they meet impossible people who make life worse than they have met it, and they regret talking. What are you doing? What are you doing? So many people are just there because they are privileged, and they now think that other people that are not committed a crime. They didn't. For every position God has given you in life is for you to use it to do something in the life of people for Him. In everywhere you find yourself, what do? Leave that woman with female children. Leave her alone. Female children are adorable children that turn around and become something. How many men are even these days? The blessings of men that men have, women have it. Everybody is fighting a battle, carrying a lot of load. Leave them alone. Leave people alone. Leave people alone in their pain. Leave people alone to live their life. You don't know what is going on, and you can't explain it, and you don't know it. Stop being mean. Stop being callous. Stop talking because you think you can talk. Stop entering into matters that are not your business and be wasting your mouth when you don't even know if they leave it for you. A lot of people that have talked, that have criticized, if they embrace 1/4 of the pain people that are mocking have had, they will sink. They will sink because they can't bear it. So why don't you wait to understand? Why don't you want to wait to understand? If you must look back, my dear, please do it with forgiveness.